Hi, and welcome back to the
Hi.
MOACA Media Podcast. My name is George Sanchez. This is Carlos, and we're coming to you now in the middle of a conversation. I just told them to hit record.
Woo!
No, no woo.
Yes,
You're not woo.
I'm not woo.
You're not woo.
I'm not woo.
But and tell us why you're not woo. Let's just get in. Go.
All right. What I was saying before we hit record is I'm
Mm-hmm.
just down because I miss life, and like I do my best to reframe. So I'm not gonna ignore the fact that we got to go back to the gym this week, and I'm not gonna ignore the fact that you and I got to work out with our friends yesterday and all that. But just really I just miss life, dude. I miss life. I miss like it's been such a draining 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yes, yes, it
that
is.
that my tank is empty as far as my ability to, to get emotionally involved with, yeah, these things that are going on. I just feel I just what I would give to just it be a year ago and last summer and when we were, just starting this podcast and sitting at the gym and talking and all the things we've done since then. And we're coming up on a year since
Yeah.
we started this podcast. And I think about all the things that were going on at the time and everything was just so good. And now, I'm just I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to look at things. I'm kicking ass at work. My patients are doing great. They're making progress. So I know that we're having the right talks and I'm doing well. And I'm happy to help. It has nothing to do with that though. This isn't burnout. This isn't therapist burnout. This isn't, I go to work and I'm actually relieved to go to work because it's like that structure. It's the one thing that has kind of stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
I never stopped working throughout this quarantine. I never stopped working throughout anything that's happened. So that's been really cool, to like just have that escape, be able to go to an office. And I love going to my office. So it has nothing to do with that. It's just more actually how drained I am from when I'm not at work. Like I love that I can't look at my phone for like almost 4 hours at a time. And before that bothered me. Like before the quarantine, I was like, oh my gosh, man, like I look at my phone like every 4 hours and like a lot of text messages and emails and I would feel overwhelmed. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that I have this job where sometimes dude, the other day I forgot where I put my phone in my office. And I was like, good, good. That's how it should be, you know? I barely on social media, I put like my thoughts on my page because I like my content and I think that I keep it short and simple and do like little quick reminders. And so I've been posting, but I haven't been like looking or going through people's stories or anything like that. I played a show on Saturday and it was cool, but it was at the same time, it was like bittersweet. It was cool, but it was like only the place that I played at is already small and 50% occupancy. I was playing to like 12 people. And then that's just a little, oh, it's like a little awkward. It's like very like, I don't know. But, and then, just, it's a buildup, George. Just like, you know,
Let it out.
yeah, I just have to. I
Look,
have
it's
to, man.
it's inevitable that you're gonna hit a valley after having had like a couple of peaks. There's usually an adjustment period, and it sounds to me like you're just readjusting. If we were in whatever, so like we were on lockdown for 90 days, right? 3 months. And
Yeah.
now it's been, I want to say what, like 2 weeks of like phase one, and then like 1 week of phase two. And now like people are like, oh, no, no phase three, stay in phase two for whatever, or phase one, whatever. Like, anyways, like
Yeah.
the numbers are going back up. Everything is like the progress that was being made, the choo, everything's like the brakes are being pumped. Do you think you're reacting to some of that? That it's
It could be. It could be. I think it's more of too much noise. There's just too much noise, and people,
oh
yeah, yeah, yeah,
oh
yeah.
Yeah, dude, nah, just no.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know, I I don't I guess like one of my friends told me today, actually, he made a good point. He's like, listen, you put yourself out there a lot. You're a musician,
Correct.
you do public speaking, you have, you're very active on your Instagrams with your marketing, like you put yourself out there. So you can't blame people for like, being like curious, like where you stand with stuff, especially there's people who value your
It
opinion,
is
you
so
know?
crazy to me that, and I feel maybe a little grateful that I am not experiencing what you're going through, because people do not, or maybe I just, because I'm such a blabbermouth. People know people don't need to ask me where I stand on things, because I basically tell them all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know where George is? He's naked on the internet and he's telling people that Black Lives Matter. That's what he's doing. Or
Right, right, right.
he's just consuming content and doing, like, trying to be NBC News on the MOACA
Yeah.
podcast. God, I was so manic that day. I did this, and I went, and I went this, and I got this, and I have notes, and I did this, and I'm a summary. Do you remember? It was a lot of energy, but it had to go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you put that energy in
But
that.
it,
I think it
like,
was.
look, you know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I do. I just I don't need to be like, all right, look, I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Oh, great, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
so glad we
yeah,
got there, because it's been
yeah,
about, yeah.
yeah. I'm too old for this shit. That's it. Like
What?
I don't have like
Tell for
in one
what?
in one weekend I got hit with what are you talking to your kids about? I got hit with, somebody who's so active on social media. I would expect you to be more out there, kind of like sharing what your thoughts are and stuff like that. Like, I got hit with, um, there's a possibility you might have to leave this country if things get really bad. I got hit with, it's just like,
But do you not,
yo,
do you get, okay, fine. Let's, can we get in, can I just, like, let's get in there.
please, 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 please.
Um, you are a shiny, happy person.
Thank you.
And you are a shiny, happy person. And shiny, happy people don't like to think about bad things happening. And
Except
so,
this
no, no,
shiny
no,
happy
no,
person has to think about that
no,
every
no, no, no.
day
But
for
but the thing is
work.
that no, because it's not for you. It's for other people. Like, you can help anybody out of their situation, no problem. But, like, when
Right.
all of a sudden you're in charge of, like, or feel like you have to bear the burden for the safety of
Mm,
yourself and for others, you're just like, I didn't ask for this responsibility.
right. Right.
Hello, like,
That is,
why are you looking at me? Like, get the,
uh,
no,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
no.
I've never been a parent during this time. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and fuck your boomer fucking, like, suggestions guy who's never been through any of this either. Like, thanks, Dad. Okay. Oh yeah, sure. The
Yeah.
recession of '08 and the recession of the night. Okay, great. Thanks for all that. Okay, yeah.
Right, right, right.
No, no. It's it's to be expected. It's to be expected. And here, like, what I don't hear from you is grace. Like, you are harder on yourself than you would ever be on anybody else. If you ever saw someone being as hard on, if you ever saw anyone being hard on another person the way that you are being on yourself, you would intervene.
Yes.
Yeah. So fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. Fuck it.
I also find that humor helps a lot, and there's usually, like, always like an off ramp. And
Yeah.
I've been really choosing the off ramp a lot lately. Did you happen to see okay, so I haven't watched your little dance video yet. I promise I'll see it.
Okay.
Before you
Not
ask.
me dancing. It's a movie about dance.
Whatever, it's your little dance movie.
Let me tell you something about this movie. Real
No,
quick,
don't say anything.
No. All right, I'll wait. I'll wait till you say.
No,
Okay.
no, no,
No.
no,
No.
no,
It, the, I just want you to know the reason why I'm so excited about
Okay.
it. Because it just has elements that I love, and it has elements that you love, and you see it all in one movie. Because it's not only about dance, it's about music too. There's so much music.
Have you seen Strictly Ballroom yet? Ever?
I've seen it a lot of times,
Uh-huh.
and this is going to remind you of a Baz Luhrmann movie, and that's why I'm so excited because I know that you like Strictly Ballroom.
Awesome.
So
I'm gonna put it on
the colors. Oh my God, the
I
colors,
love
man, that's
colors.
such a so good, so good, so good. So you were going to say something about that, or about something?
Oh, I don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
I got off track.
Okay. All right. Well, humor. You've been getting off course, with humor,
Like
and yeah.
okay. So there was Did you watch the? Did you see the Dave Chappelle Netflix 846 special?
Is that the one where? Is that the one where he talks about the Michael Jackson incident, or has there been a later one?
No, no, it just came out. I want to say like in the last
Oh,
week. It's
oh
about
no, I haven't seen it.
it's about 30 minutes long. It's free on YouTube. And it's titled 846, which is the amount of time that George Floyd's neck was held by the guy.
Yeah.
And he ties it into some other like numerical references, and it's very, very well done. Like what I really loved about it was the writing of it, like the way he wrote the piece. It's like a 30-minute stand up, but it's not stand up because there's humor because he's a funny guy and he looks at things that are funny, and he's not afraid to say it. Um, so and even in like to be in living in a time and going through something that is as terrible as all of this has been, there's a relief in laughter.
There
And
is.
so I seek it out in like probably like, I know it's like sometimes it's inappropriate, but the timing of it is so good. Like it just
I
needs to
know.
be said.
Yeah.
Like, is no one gonna fucking say it? Oh. But but and all that stuff. So I felt the way you felt, the way you're feeling right now. I felt on Saturday, and then it was like a really nice day outside, so I took myself out there, and it's really funny. So I had some friends over last weekend, and one of them brought over like this pre-mixed cocktail of grapefruit juice and vodka, which is like a Greyhound, which is very, very good, right? And it's super refreshing, delicious by the pool. So there was a little. They had left it, so I took it out and I served myself some, and in my head I was like, I just thought it was like pour over ice and joy, not realizing that you have to cut it with something because it's fucking concentrate. So I'm just like, this is gonna be delicious, and I took it, and I'm like, oh, I was like, good God, it burns. And the next thing I know, I was like, let's have a party. And I like 3 people over. We hung out by the pool. We like laughed, like we hung out, and then like someone was like, "Oh, there's a virtual thing tonight, or whatever." And these other guys like, "Oh, everyone come to my house. We'll watch it. It'll be fun." We did that. It was like such a relief. It was like nice to like, and it was all very small. We were like 5 people the whole time, but all of us were just so in just a great like spot. And I was like, I drank and I had fun and we were laughing, and it was a relief. Like it felt like stress was leaving my little shoulders.
Yeah.
And then the Sunday with the photo shoot was super fucking awesome. I'm really lucky, and I feel I had a very nice weekend. So it's like, and then plus the fucking thing on Monday happened. I was like, yes, we're gonna fucking win. And even though we've got like some very severe like family stuff with the doggy right now happening, like still like he came out of the surgery really good, and he like ate well today. His tail is wagging, like he's good. Like we're good. We're good. Like I was in a okay. Wait, hold on a second. I was here. Here.
Oh, he's showing me the picture of the squirrel hugging the flower.
Here, dude. It's your totem.
Thank you. It is. Thank you. Yeah. No, yeah. You know what, man? You're right. It's just like so many things are going so awesome right now,
Yeah.
and I'm not allowing myself to enjoy it, and I need to stop that shit. And I, dude, like
Para.
my caseload right now, like my patients they're killing it, bro. They're like doing the things that I'm recommending. They're coming back. They're making progress. Like I have like a great clientele right now. Like everyone's healthy. Everyone's good. We're back in the gym. Like, yeah, maybe I just needed this. I just needed to just blah. I needed to like vomit it out to like, start taking in, maybe more of the positive attitude, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that. That worked. I mean, I actually feel better than when we started recording. So that's amazing how that works. How you can turn someone around
You are very
and do
welcome,
that.
my friend. My
Yeah.
invoice is in the mail.
Yeah, man. It's been nice to see people too. Oh my gosh. Going to the gym and I saw people on Saturday that went to go watch me play, and it's been, it's been really cool. But there is something to be
Listen,
said about the fatigue, like I
yeah,
think
no,
a lot
dude,
of
for
people
sure.
might be
I
going through
was
that.
I was just talking to David, and look, you know, I'm gonna just put it out there, and you don't have to decide now. And if anybody that listens to this, I'd like your opinion on it, and let me know. And maybe based on any response that we get, we'll go. But I think that would be a very awesome, really kind of cool time to do some sort of like guided process through like a system or a workshop with together and with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And since we've talked about the fucking Eckhart Tolle thing so many times, and we've done it together, like we've done it separately and we've read it separately, maybe people would want to like listen to an episode of the podcast. Once we listen to the podcast, and then we like try to like have some topical questions, and for the next 10 weeks or whatever, depending on when we decide to start, we could do like a week to week workshop session and
Yeah,
kind of like recenter ourselves through that. And it's 10 weeks, and what the fuck else are you gonna do for the next 10 weeks, Carlos? It's 10 chapters.
that's right. I like it, dude.
It could be cool, right?
I think it could
Really
be very
cool.
cool.
I think it'd be
Yeah.
cool. And we can talk more. And listen, if you're listening to this and you're like, I would love to know what these guys are always talking about when they make references to that, and you'd be down to participate,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
like have a guest on a week and see what they think for that chapter,
Ooh, yeah.
like a book club, but like a workshop club.
Yes.
That could be cool, right?
That would be very cool,
Oh,
dude.
maybe have like a big like group. How many people can we have on these calls at once?
I
Guys,
think I have the premium. I think I could have up to 100.
this is how we make the sausage, folks. You're listening to this
Yeah.
live. Like, so yeah, I mean, we will work out. I think it's an awesome idea. We'll flush that out more behind the scenes. But if you're hearing this and you would be down to be part of that conversation, let us know. Hit us up, and we will take it from there.
Yeah, it'll give people when they hit this point, because I think we're all gonna deal with it at some point. Even if you're talking about all the things that are going on, if you're talking about it at work or even in your WhatsApp chat rooms or whatever it may be, we're getting hit with it. And even if you're on social media, you're getting hit with it. And everyone's bound to hit a certain like level of fatigue. And I think that the best like way to reframe without entering this, I'm going to ignore everything that's going on in the world because we have to keep our we have to keep our pedal we have to keep our foot on the pedal. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
the gas pedal, and we can't let this die out. We got to keep like going strong with the
Mm-hmm.
purpose behind all this, but to balance it out with like, okay, when we were talking about the George Floyd episode that we had about encapsulating the energy and stretching it out. Well, the way you do that is you compensate that energy with something like kind of like the mindfulness,
The
a
reason I
better
brought it
understanding
up,
of the ego
yeah.
and learning and talking about things like that.
So the reason I brought it up is because it really it's the key focus is to understand your present moment. Like, where
Right.
are you right now? And the goal of the book is to arm you with the tools to be able to pull you out of moments when you're not in the present moment. Because if you are, then you're not going to have stress, anxiety, concerns, feelings of the sadness, man, blah, 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 like, because those feelings are not who you are. Like, that's outside shit fucking calming you in. And it's super easy to forget, and I fucking go back and forth all the time on it. And that's why, like, I use the totem of the little sunflower chipmunk. But
Yeah.
that's it. And it's like, I don't know. I would like to talk. I just think it's really interesting, and I think it's helpful. And people sometimes listen to us talking about being in the present moment, as well as how I talk about my ego as being a 5-year-old kid. And maybe those concepts are like new or strange to them. But I don't know, like, we've had conversations with other people about this, and when I bring it up when I talk about it like that, and they get it, that's so fucking cool. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, fucking New Earth, Eckhart Tolle, open podcast.
Yep. Okay. I like it. I think that's a great thing to do, especially during, a time where, like, as much as we enjoy talking about our favorite topics, we don't want to be, kind of off as to what's going on in the world either. So I think it's a great blend.
Listen, we don't, I don't have my sister and I, we had a talk last week, because I was having like a hard time with like my family. So she helped me through that. And, I know how important it is to her to have a spiritual practice. And for my mom as well. They're both, and they get that through their respective religions, right? And so I don't have that, but the closest thing I have to something that kind of like pulls me through this, the way that people get pulled through by the hope and light of religion or whatever that is, it's the spiritual teachings of that guy. And so I know that he's not God, and this isn't like a God thing.
No,
like,
I know.
It's just like listen, we're about to finish 6 months of the year. Here's what we know. We do not know what is, around the corner. And I love all of I love what the possibilities of what the internet
Jumanji.
I love all of those things. I love the humor of it. I don't have to take it seriously. And so here, another tip is don't read comments.
Don't read comments.
I also like, I know I only answer to myself and to my family. Mm-hmm. And you can never be all things to all people all the time. And I march ahead with my head held high, and in good conscience of the decisions that I make. And that's it. So that, period.
Punto final.
Punto final, punto y cerrado. Caso cerrado.
Caso cerrado.
He dicho. God, I love that show. I only watch that show because my mother-in-law loves it, and I love it now. Like, I fucking love it. Yeah. It's always on in the background when I start cooking. Like, she's got like I think it's like a 3-hour like block on Univision that she has, or Telemundo or wherever. And she always has it on, and I'm just like tripping out watching it. Awesome. He dicho.
Oh man. All right. Well, dude, I like where this is going. Thank you for.
You're very welcome, indeed. Hey, listen, I don't know how much fun was it to work out together yesterday.
Oh my gosh, man, that was fantastic, man. That was fantastic.
You started. You're like, and you did the whole classic, like, guys, I'm just got my own pace. I'm doing my own thing. You don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about me. And Danny was like, pick it up, Carlos. And you were like, fuck.
And I hung in there.
You did. You pushed.
It's amazing. In that last round of burpees, I like turned it on. Like, I was just like, oof, 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 oof. And I was like, oh my gosh, man. He's like, you're walking around too much. I'm like, this is what I always do. What do you mean?
I'm not trying to go to the games, Danny.
Yeah. And then there I was.
And look, it's like, look around, dude. None of us are going anywhere. Like, just fucking get the fuck, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel amazing. I work out harder at the gym. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sore. I'm good. Like, I feel like I'm going to get back to a certain place physically. I mean, just strictly physically that I was before the quarantine. I'm really, really excited. And I, you know, I mean, I'm not unhappy with where I'm at. You know, I'm very happy with where I'm at, but now that I'm at this place, now that we're re-implementing, like I'm going back into the gym, like I'm really excited about the
Just
changes.
be here now, happy. You don't have to be anywhere else.
I don't know. The only now that exists is the right now.
Because fucking what happens if it is, you don't get there, right? Like then it's
Right.
like, never. Like, no, dude, you're not happy now, and you're happy now because it was good and you feel better, not because of what's going to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at you, bro. We should totally do a workshop, man.
Listen, and I'm not going to lead the workshop. The workshop is led by Oprah and Eckhart. And all we're going to do is comment on the chapters, you know, every week, I guess.
Right.
And the how about it, we can write it up and post it. And if we get in trouble from the publishing company with our 3 people who will do this. Oh my god! It'll just maybe just the 2 of us, and that's it, and whatever. Yeah. Like,
and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just send them a quick. I'll be like, dear Sarah, like we do this podcast, so we're gonna do your podcast on our podcast. We're gonna recap your podcast on our podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're a podcast recap podcast.
Your recap of the book on our podcast.
Yeah. We're the Pepe Cliff Notes.
Right.
The Pepito Cliff Notes or whatever. Bro, let me copy your paper, bro. Bro, let me get your homework before 5th period, bro.
Bro, what did he say? Was that, what's the word? Ego? Like the waffles?
Like Lego my ego? Yeah, you need to Lego your ego, bro.
Yeah, bro. Humor. Emotional fatigue. Humor is the way. I agree. I that's the way to go. Always.
Did you ever remember back in the day we didn't have smartphones when we would read magazines in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Did you ever have Reader's Digest? Parents have it by any chance?
Yes. Can I tell you something? My parents had 2 subscriptions. They had Reader's Digest.
Yes.
And High Times.
Really? Who was the chiefer?
My dad.
For real?
Oh yeah, bro. My dad never drank, but he always smoked.
Chiefing. Look at that.
Yeah, and I remember
No, go ahead.
No. I just remember like seeing it in the bathroom, and I'm like, oh my! And I was already like 13 or 14, so I already knew what it was, and I was like, wow, dude. I was like, all right.
Did you creep around the house looking for it?
No, never. I was never interested. It was never my thing. It's still not my thing. I've tried, you know, like that year off I took from alcohol. I tried a couple times, and I'm like, this isn't for me, bro. I would feel like shit during. I never enjoyed it, and then I would feel like shit, like for days. I would feel like out of it and zoned out and lethargic. And nope, there's something about me that I just shouldn't be taking in anything foreign. Like I just need to stay natural because nothing works, bro. Nothing works. I've been back to drinking. I drank Friday a little bit. I drank Saturday a little bit. I drank Sunday a little bit. And yesterday I was a wreck and I didn't go overboard. I wasn't like, you know, passed out or anything like that. Shaky, anxious, sad, depressed, angry, irritable, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, and that was it. I told Lauren, I go, this is it for me. Like I made a promise to myself. I said, I'm going to start drinking again. But if I start feeling the same way again, I'm out for good. That's
Okay.
it. I'm out for good. This isn't for me, you know, because dude, like it is that. So with marijuana, it's the same, but without the shakes, without the anxiety, but it is the sadness and the lethargic. And for days, like for days after, I'm talking about like 2 or 3, you know, poofs, and then for 3 days, I'm like, hey, I don't feel like it. Nah, it's all right, you know, and incredible, right? Weird, very weird. But anyway, yes, Reader's Digest. We had Reader's Digest and we had
And
a High
High
Times.
Times, yeah. So we had a Reader's Digest as well, and one of my favorite sections in Reader's Digest was "Laughter is the best medicine." The end.
Yeah, that's it, dude. It really is, though. It really is. But you know, but a lot of people haven't gotten this memo. So, you know, I've cracked a few jokes here and there, and they weren't super inappropriate because I'm just not that guy. But maybe I guess one can criticize the humor as dismissive, and I guess maybe that offends people. Yeah, but I've
Listen,
had a few
you have to
people,
learn
you
how
know.
to. No, it comes down to like read the fucking room, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
there's a time and a place for everything, and you know,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's you know, it's yeah. Now I could see why the joke was offensive. But anyway,
Did you not read the room?
I didn't read the room
Okay. Yep.
because I kind of am that guy. Like I'm kind of like, let me just throw something out there to see like if, you know,
You're a
like let me just
shaker,
see.
yes.
Yeah, let me just I don't mind stirring. Yeah, I don't mind stirring the pot a little bit, you know, like something like really simple, like, you know, well, the thing is it's hard to tell the story without like, because I'm sure they want to keep it confidential, but there was an incident that occurred and the police had to come, and you know, and it got handled, um
And
and
then you said
and
something about
when
it.
I said man, you know, like aren't we, I mean, I just feel very fortunate that we have them. I think that's awesome. Like I think none of you fuckers would have known what to do in this situation. Actually, I take that back. None of us knew what to do in the situation that we were in 10 minutes ago. And so I was like, I applaud you guys, because when you guys freeze in a fight or flight response, you know, you don't decide to fight and you freeze instead, then I'm just really happy we have people, you know. And it wasn't really a joke, I guess, now that I think about it, but I was just kind of, but the funny part was me going to them and being like, you fuckers froze. You guys wouldn't survive in a world without cops. And they were like, no, it wasn't like that. It's just, you know, it's just like, you know, you got to like know what to do. And I'm like, mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, sure. Thanks. All right. And of course, I'm the guy that goes up to the police officer and say, hey, thank you for what you do, bro. None of us knew what to do. None of us knew what to do. You did. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And they were like, this Carlos gotta be like that, bro. And I'm like, I'm not taking a side. I'm just explaining what happened. That's what happened. I'm just kind of telling you what happened. And they were like, well, anyway, funny to me. Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I still yet don't have like a stance on that because I don't understand it enough. There's so many layers. People start explaining like the whole police thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, what's happening in Seattle? No, don't tell me. It's okay. I got to go back to work. It's okay. Cynicism.
Sound yeah, deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
Cynicism. Yeah. That's what happens with age, you know? But I'm able to catch myself, and I'm able to acknowledge that it's not good, and I need to be able to step it up when I need to, you know? So, but yeah. But anyway, humor. I'm going to watch that Dave Chappelle thing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
Yeah. What is it that, just kind of shifting gears here a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 questions. If you can explain to me a little bit more in detail what it is that happened on Monday, the good news you got on Monday with the Supreme Court. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And the other follow-up question is, do you feel that something that was such a big deal, do you feel that it was overshadowed by everything that's going on?
No.
No? Okay, good.
No, because no. Wait. No.
Okay.
No. And I more than anything, there's so much out there that is framed in the light of good or bad, or like this is a good thing, this is a bad thing, and some of that stuff doesn't need to be good or bad. It could just be.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of it is very bad. Um, there's a lot of like very like non-constructive energy being spent. Whatever. Um, uh, I made it a point to. I just made it a point to like I have work I have to do. I have a life I have to live, and so I'm just gonna get good at doing that again.
Right.
That. With regard to Monday, um, so I guess sometime over the weekend. I don't know. I think it was Friday. The Department of Justice, which is headed by Attorney General William Barr, who's the Attorney General for Trump's administration, filed an amicus brief, which is like basically like I guess I don't know what the fuck it is because I'm not a fucking lawyer, but they filed this thing with the Supreme Court, basically outlining their position um, on what sex is, and that employers should be allowed to discriminate against homosexual people and transgendered people because
Mm.
I think it's what is it, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title 9, fuck I don't know, anyways,
Yeah,
does not
it's okay. We don't
apply
need
on
to.
the because they're like on the basis of sex does not apply. Not on the, it just that section doesn't have the part where it talks about sex as a protected class does not apply as it pertains to sexuality or gender identity. And so
Mm.
if that would have been upheld, then employers could fire people because you're gay, you're not going to work anymore. You're trans, you're not going to work anymore. The end.
Wow.
So this decision, which was a 6-3 decision, which is very good, better than it being a 4-5 decision. At least we got two of the more conservative judges. Um, Ruled that sexuality and gender identity are protected classes as a part of sex because these people would only if these people were not of that like the only thing if you're going to fire somebody because they're gay if that person and they're the gay it's a gay couple a guy and a guy and one of them was and the person they were married to was a woman they wouldn't be fired so of course it has to do with the sex of the person.
Right.
And the same thing with gender identity. I don't know, not sure about the test on that, but it was, and it really was the way that they wrote the legislation, the language in the law was written in a way that maybe the way that they were writing it in a moment didn't intend for, or they couldn't foresee how the applicability would be. But the fact is that like on the basis of sex, like these two cases reflect that that is not what's being done, and so we need to overturn. We need to make sure that we send the message. And it was a landmark decision. Like now it's like done, protected. It is sexuality is part
Good.
of sex, so it's trans. And so after
Fuck yeah, man. That's
after what
great, dude.
has been after what has been a very long time in the desert.
Yeah.
It felt like una gotica de agua, like a sip of water. Like, ah, oh, good news on, like, good news.
Yeah, good news.
Um, and so, yeah, that was very helpful as far as like enlightening myself to hope, not getting carried away with like what's gonna, because then you know the inevitable conversation, like people start getting hyped up, and then it's like, and then November, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
don't
The present. The
the
present.
present.
Let's
That's it.
enjoy the
That's the
present.
present. The present. That's
Yeah.
it. That is it. It's
Good, man. That is fantastic.
been helpful. And even on days like today, like listen, I today was not a great day. the puppy was sedated most of the day, and we were like worried about him. And it's his first day home since having surgery. He had 9 tumors removed from all over his body.
9.
9, and
Oh my gosh.
he looks like he's been through fucking hell. It's just shaved and
Oh
scars and
man.
these huge scars that go
Oh,
across his body. And it was like, and
such a sweet dog
he's so sweet,
too,
and
man.
and he's such a little, just a fucking little like brave little trooper. Just slept all day, and then like he barely didn't really want to feel like eating, but like I got him a little turkey, started nibbling on the turkey, and then I like got his dry food, and I was like feeding him like kibble, and like he started like eating, and it just like felt better, and I was like, okay, good. It just like I didn't get to do the things I wanted to do. Like I wanted to like work out, I wanted to go to the gym, and none of those things happened, and it kind of felt like a nuisance.
Right.
Um, but in that moment, like I need to like make sure that my doggy's okay. I need to make sure that this is happening. I need to cook my dinner. Like just it never got like it never the gym never happened today, and that's okay. It can happen tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about what you've been going through with your dog, though. You know, can I tell you something? You know
Yeah.
that even though I've always had a dog, almost my entire life, I haven't become a dog person up until the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And it's just when I hear about somebody else's dog going
Mm-hmm.
through something, I feel it differently. Whereas before, it was like, oh yeah, sorry to hear that. Like it's just a dog, And now it's like, ah, like it feels different. It
Sure.
feels really different. I look at my dogs and they're like they're like my little people. They're like sometimes I'm like, oh my god, they're so much better than humans.
David would agree with that 100%, 150%.
Yeah.
No, dude, like, listen, not to like sound like a fucking broken record, but I get to, I was at, I was at the grocery store doing like the heavy lifting Publix shopping trip. So
Uh,
I'm like, I have this giant cart full of like everything that he was wanting, and my phone starts buzzing in my pocket. So like, I'm almost done. I'm like in the produce section getting a sweet potato or something. I don't remember. No, I was definitely like in this. Yeah, I was in the produce, and I see David's calling me, and I pick up the phone, and he's like just in tears, and he's like, Solomon has cancer. Oh my god! And I'm like listening to him have an like get like
yeah.
really upset, and also like taking in the news that like our dog has fucking cancer, and I'm like, and then I just start to like, I'm like, okay, don't fucking freak out.
Right. Right.
Like, don't like, and then like things started getting slow, and David's like, what's like, he's like upset, and I know that he's not upset at me, but like he's just upset, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say or do. I'm just like tiptoeing. I'm not trying not to like break down in the middle of the fucking grocery
Right. Of
store.
course.
And then it's like, okay, well, I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right. Right. What are you supposed to? Yeah,
What
it's true though. What are the options? Give me a list of options of
you
things to say,
know,
please.
and so I end the call. I kind of just like look around. I was like, okay, I need to go home. So
Yeah.
like, packed, and it like between and that's why I felt like shit on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's why I was feeling so like bummed out, and David came home, and we talked, and I realized again, it's like, listen, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, and I have the tools to like that I had no, that I and I have the tools in my toolbox to be able to like process and get through whatever fucking life throws at you, and that's not something that I boast about, but there's a comfort in that, like even
Right.
though that there's not, like I know that David gets really anxious at the idea of loss so much, and he I think he could really benefit from understanding what it means to truly be in the present moment and not to like be. David spends a lot of time in the past and a lot of time in the future. I literally just told him that tonight before this podcast started, and he smiled and acknowledged it because he knows it's true. He's always worrying about what's coming around the corner. So like if your job is to always anticipate something bad's going to happen, you automatic like you start to become that person all the time.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And while the thing that makes you very successful in one area can be a huge detriment in another.
And you got to know when to turn it
And you
off,
got to
right?
know when to turn it off. And I think that's like, it's a skill you can learn the same way that we learn, the same way that our capacity for endurance gets better the more that we work on it.
Yeah.
And the more consistent we are, the same holds true with being able to pull yourself out of any kind of like crisis that you're in by just focusing on your very present moment, assuming that the present moment is not some sort of like physical crisis.
Right, of course.
You know, which in that moment you need to fucking deal with whatever's going on in front of you. You know, like don't be worried about like, I don't know, los frijoles en la cazuela, or, you know, the whatever, you know, I don't know why I went there. I don't know why all my references like refer to like these like human women, like as if my mom is one. No, because there's no frijoles en la cazuela. Like that come from? Strange.
Well, I think it's just a big part of our culture. You don't even, you know, I'm not even from Cuba. I'm from Chile, but
Dude,
just
the
because the
frijoles come
culture
from
is so strong here.
the frijoles come from the can and they go right into like the microwave. Like what? There's no cazuela. Like
Eso cazuela, qué cazuela, bro.
Whatever. I'm appropriating my own culture.
Oh man. Well,
but yeah, so listen, it's out there. I think it'd be fun to do it again. I just recommended it to somebody. So I'm going to tell them that we're going to do it on this podcast if they want to listen to it.
I like it. Let's do that. Now, here's the thing. Do we want to do something? Well, no, we'll talk about it. Sorry, okay. We're recording. We'll talk about it at another point. Sorry. Yeah. Part of the plan. But yes, we're going to do this.
Awesome.
I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for us individually. And
do you have the book?
Yes.
Okay, so I have the book. I have the book and then we have the podcast. So maybe we do like a combo.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. As soon as we stop recording, we're going to talk about it.
I think it's a really good idea. I just think
it's excellent. It's an excellent idea. I think it's, again, I know I said it earlier, but I'm just going to say it again. In a time where it feels weird to talk about anything else, the one thing that you could talk about is something that will help people deal in this time in a good way, where you don't take away the energy of helping and contributing, but you also take care of yourself. You don't empty out your own glass, right?
Yeah, you
don't let the fatigue get to you.
I'm not changing the way that it's not to like change the course that you're on. I guess it's just to like maybe provide you with a better compass.
Yes.
So that you can get there faster and in a more effective manner, and without reaching the point of fatigue that you stop. Because these things, you know, systemic change is a fucking, like, it's not a mudslide. It is
definitely not. Far from
snail's pace. Like, I've worked, the amount of my exposure to the way that government works is minimal, but it's enough to understand that the way that you building momentum, and incremental change in your benefit over a period of time is the best, most sustainable way to like achieve any kind of like change in the system.
Correct. 100%.
It does not happen overnight, you know, barring like executive order and all that shit. But that's, you know, executive privilege is a weird thing. But like real good, solid legislation, real good, solid work, you know, changing the way that people like vote, changing the way that people engage with politicians, changing the types of politicians that we have and who we support. All these things are not going to happen in one election cycle or two or three, even maybe, you know. And I would venture to say that that's not a bad thing, because it seems to stick more the longer it takes. I mean, maybe that came out wrong, but I know that when I am more consistent over a period of time, I see the change, like my body. Like the more consistent I am with my stuff, the better I always end up looking and feeling. Like instead of like crash dieting and trying to make, quick fixes to these little things, like, okay, now I'm gonna only eat, vegetables and chicken for the next 90 days to like detox, fast track, quick start. No,
Right.
dude.
No.
And
no.
you can't. So that.
Yeah.
That.
I like it. I love it. So how would you categorize this episode?
It's like a palate cleanser.
I like that.
Like a palate cleanser. Like, listen, it's distortion a lot. Oh my gosh, people acknowledge. People have opinions. I'm not gonna discuss other people's opinions anymore.
Right.
Today,
Yeah.
right now,
No.
for the next 10 minutes.
No. Yeah.
But so between one very spicy dish and another dish, you usually have something that like cleanses the palate. Kind of like,
Yeah.
like when you're like smelling coffee between perfumes and neutralizes things. It's like a neutralizer, like it's just a little off. Like, okay, we acknowledge that it's hard and whatever, and we don't know where we're gonna go. So instead of worrying about where we've been and scared about where we're going, let's figure out how to be mindful and in the present moment to alleviate stress, anxiety, fatigue, concern, depression, overeating, chronic masturbation, whatever your fucking kink is that's maybe keeping you down.
All legitimate. They're all legitimate. Okay, so this is the palate cleanser. I like where we're going. So on that note, George, where can they find this podcast?
You can find this podcast traveling in Carmen Sandiego's backpack across the world, everywhere where podcasts are listening to. Stitcher, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Twitter, Facebook. We're on Instagram at MOACA Media. Yeah, Podbean, www.moacamedia.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, you are?
I am at George I. Sanchez.
And I am at Carlos.Escanilla or at Carlos305 Music. And oh my God, that reference. Oh yeah, music. Oh, music. Music
Where
has been just.
in the world is MOACA Media?
Yeah.
We're in Carmen Sandiego's backpack. Hilarious.
All right, guys, get prepared for what's coming because I really like the direction we're going. And I think we can do something really good with this. So get ready. And I hope you enjoyed this episode and come join us next week as we begin this journey.
Bye.
Bye.